Hey everyone. Something amazing has happened yesterday, and actually, GPT-4o, like new image generation capabilities, have been released by OpenAI just yesterday to their flagship model, GPT-4o. To clarify, like this is not a new model. It has been like it was first released back in May 2024 by OpenAI themselves, and like it could understand audio, vision, and text when it was first released as well. But what they have done is they've just completely given it new capabilities in when it comes to image generation. So let me show you some examples. Like this is an example of Karl Marx hurriedly walking through a mall of America. This is a photo of like a cat looking in the puddle of water with a reflection of tiger. Like just the detail on that photo with with like the puddles. And this is a photo of a farmer's market in 2006. I particularly like because even at the bottom right, if you have a look, it's got like a date stamp on it. This is a photo of a horse galloping from right to left on a ocean bed water. I didn't know horses could do that, but on this picture, I mean, looking at it, can you really tell the difference? This is my particular favorite. It's like a really simple one. It's just a basket of fruits, but actually, there's like planets in there. So I don't know if you noticed what's happening there, but the incumbent in this field has been Midjourney. Like they have been the best when it comes to generating images given some description. But what OpenAI has done is that yesterday, like they have become the best image generation model in the history of humankind as of today. And what they have solved is called text rendering. So basically, if you look at the English, it's legible English, like the characters on the image are something you can read. And this has not been possible until yesterday, since OpenAI released this. And like if you go to any image generation model today, like you try any app, any of the other companies, they have not solved for this. In fact, like you will not be able to get coherent English when you try that. And in this one, like if you say, okay, now get the person who's writing to turn around and do like a high five, just the detail on the photo, and like it's got a little reflection at the back of the Golden Gate Bridge, of the high five as well. It's really hard to tell the difference today of what's real and what's been generated by these really smart diffusion models, and this particular is not even one of those. So why should you listen to me? Well, I am the lead AI engineer at a company called Relevance AI. Basically, we're building full-time AI agents, and that's part of my day job. Overall, I've got over 7 years of experience in this industry, so I've been writing and I've been talking about these models, which is referred to as more as deep learning. In fact, I also have a blog that has a readership of around 200,000 readers across 81 countries. And my first blog that came out was 5 years ago. So this was on GPT-2 actually, and today we're at GPT 4.5. So like the world has come a long way since then. Like back in the day, it was a 1.5 billion parameter model, and that's like in 2019 that when OpenAI first released this. And it was a big game changer back then 6 years ago. Today, like we don't even think that it's a good model because all it could do was like complete English words for you. So you gave it a sentence, half-filled sentence, and it would fill the rest for you when it was all coherent and legible. And it all generated like text based off the context that you gave it. In fact, this technology, like this form of scaling, was first released in this paper called ULM Fit. It was by an Australian researcher. So basically, it's called a scaling. So when I first like wrote my first blog, I released it on Twitter and it got some traction. In fact, to the point that even Jeremy himself, like he noticed my work, and that was a good pat in the back. So now
Great.
coming
So
back
I'm Gabe,
to
lead
this
researcher.
video,
I'm
let's have a
Praful.
look.
I'm the head of multimodal research.
So okay, I'm going to jump right in with a demo, and the reason I'm starting off with a demo is because I'm also using these demos as my speaker notes, so it's a bit handy. Now, 2 years ago, when we first started this project, we were interested in sort of like maybe a scientific question about what native support for image generation would look like in a model as powerful as GPT-4. We didn't know the answer to that question, but a year later, when the model was done training, we saw really exciting signs of life. So, we featured this in a 4o blog post, if some of you will remember, and we saw that the model could render paragraphs of text, for example, or you could combine images in really very interesting and novel ways. And I think we spent a lot of time just playing with this model, and I felt that sense of like joy and excitement. I haven't felt for a very long time, maybe even since GPT-2.
I haven't either. This was one of those really wow moments.
It was a wow moment, but that model was still a bit rough around the edges. So it's sometimes made typos. It was kind of unreliable, I would say. And so over the last year, I've been refining this model to make it more accessible and more user-friendly to the average person. And so, okay, the image is generating, as you can see. And let me see. So it seems to have gotten all the text. I don't see any typos, which is good. Okay.
It's still amazing to me to see image generation with perfect text. It shouldn't be that impressive, but somehow we've been waiting for this for so long, and every time it happens, it's like, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah,
and the number of things that like this image had to get right in the end focused on, not like that it should be a point of view image and where we are, and then sort of to get having the text like that's just this is still amazing to me.
Yeah, and point of view images are actually really hard to do, and this kind of looks like what we see right now.
It looks like you had just taken it. Yeah.
Basically, it's like a simple problem of creating coherent text. But this is something like, as Sam Altman was saying, it's something that's unheard of. Like it still feels very strange, and it feels like it just feels like this next big step. I won't really say that we have AGI yet, but it just feels like this big next step. And I thought I'll create like a small poem about AI engineering, and I think I could design T-shirts now that I can wear to work, and that was a pretty cool T-shirt. But what do these all of these capabilities that are these models are showing? What do they mean for you, and what can you practically do with this image generation model today? So let me show you some examples. For example, this is a photo of my living room, and I really wanted to see how it would look like if I ever put like Italian marble in it. So I just gave it the prompt. I uploaded the photo and I said, create a stylized Italian marble benchtop kitchen based on the image share, and that's the image it's given me. To give you some context, like I used to work for this company, realestate.com.au, and they had very specialized models, and I worked at that company for 2.5 years. But they had these very specialized models that could do the exact same thing called stylized generation. So basically, you're generating a style of the same image. So you keep the base parts as they are, but you change it just enough so you can tell the difference. And here is me like creating like a rustic look from it, and you can see like it's done a double oven, and it's just moved my fridge, and it really doesn't look like the same living room at all. In fact, if I change the image to coastal, you look at the like even the windows on the right, or even the chimney, like everything's just changed completely. And that has been the standard for so long until really like OpenAI came out with this new model capabilities yesterday. You can design customized posters. So I like motivational videos and motivational posters, and I'm a big fan of Black Mamba. So like on the left, I'm creating a poster that says now is the time to go all in, and I could print it out, I could get it framed, I could hang it on my bedroom. On Kobe Bryant, I didn't have to tell the model about Kobe Bryant. Like the model knew who Kobe Bryant is. The model knew about Mamba mentality, and it created that quote for me. I could give it my food video. So if you're like a restaurateur, like you own a restaurant, and today you wanted to highlight, and you're like trying to create a menu, or just on your website, you're trying to do marketing. You don't have to hire professional photographers anymore. You can just take a photo of the food as it is, and then ask this model to convert it into like a restaurant quality photo. And the results on the right are pretty good actually. So it's given it like a black background as well. Marketing, like this is something that could be used for marketing. So I took a photo. I was at the local pub. I was just having a dark ale. I like my Guinness. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to try something bold with this thing. So Amitabh Bachchan, he's a Indian cinema. So let me just show you actually who he is. So Indian Bollywood is like big. He's big in the movies. And The GPT-4o model, because it's been trained, uh, by trained, I mean it knows about the whole world. It knows about all that data. When I say like convert this into a commercial ad where Guinness is a great beer, and it even like put a quotation on it, which meant like every sip has a story. This is me creating like Ghibli style anime photos. I've been sharing these with my partner, like whatever photos I like, I've been sharing with her, and she's had a big smile on her face. So to give you some more context, like Ghibli is like this massive anime studio in Japan, and they have a specific style of anime generation. Um, and I didn't have to tell GPT-4o about any of what Ghibli means. It already knew by itself. It's able to like do create those stylized photos for you. And like this is stuff you can do today as well. Like maybe you try a different type of anime. Maybe you said, oh, sorry, you said Disney. So how is it able to do that? Like if I show you some more examples, like look at this one where someone's actually created like a Wikipedia page as well. Of a screenshot and of like a cat, and this model is able to create it. If you're a UI designer, like you're an engineer, it's even able to design the UI for you. What means that means user interface. So it knows about the Montreal 1976 Olympics, and it's able to create like it knows the official logo of Montreal 1976 Olympics, and this is something completely mind-blowing because what OpenAI has done is that they have provided worldly knowledge in some way or form to this model. And it's completely, it's like a big game changer because I no longer need to tell my model about Olympics. It already knows the logo. Like I do not need to give it separate information. And the way they've done it is because the O in GPT-4o stands for Omni. So what Omni means is like it's a multimodality model. Now, what multimodality means is that until now, like if I show you like this model has been trained on multiple modalities. So it's been trained on text. It understands image and video. It understands audio. It understands like a depth classification. It understands like heat maps. Maybe there's other sensor data in there. So what it means is like you if you provide a photo of like a train and you give it a text of calling it like this is a train, and you provide both the things together to the model can map out that the train text and the train photo go together. In fact, I want to tell you a story of like the godfathers of deep learning, like Joshua Bengio, Jan LeCun, and Jeffrey Hinton. They are considered the pioneers of deep learning and AI engineering today. In fact, they even got the Nobel Prize. So a story about Jan LeCun. So they got a Nobel Prize in 2018, and Jan LeCun, he's at Meta and he's like the principal researcher there. And what Jan LeCun said was about this world model is that the GPT versions of like GPT-4 or GPT-3, 3.5, we will not be able to get to the next stage of models. And what this world needs is, you know, like a baby. A baby touches a human and then gets a feeling for things. A baby sees a photo of a cat, and then the parents start to say like this is a cat, and that's when the baby is like able to put the two together. A baby like has a sense of smell, so a baby will smell roses, and the parents will say, okay, this is roses. We only understand things through multiple sensory information, and just doing text by itself, like what ChatGPT was for us so far, is like you gave it text in and text out. So basically I asked it a question and it could answer me. Will not Is not the way forward. The way forward are these singular models that can understand text, that can understand images, that can understand audio. Like I could even talk to this model and say like create an image for me that has a horse galloping from right to left. And that is how, like when I say, okay, the Montreal image, it knows about this Olympics because it's been trained on the whole internet. So it's got the information of the whole internet, and it's able to put the pieces together. So if I even said it like something about the Golden Gate Bridge, it would be able to do so. But these are also worrying times. Like as exciting as they are, these are times where we should also take a moment to reflect on the capabilities. In fact, the new system card. So a system card is like a manual. So anytime like you buy a car or like you buy an electronic item, it comes with a manual. And the system card is the manual for this new model. So every company like OpenAI released this yesterday itself. And what they have been talking about is that this is a more capable image generation model. In fact, the previous, so this is not the first time they're doing image generation. The last time they did it was with Dolly. If I show you like today, you can use Dolly just in the UI as well. If you go on the tab and you go on Explore GPTs, and then you click on Dolly on the screen, and then it opens up like it's called a custom GPT, and anyone can do this. So if you go inside the app, and now you say like create an image for me about something. In this case, I'm creating an image of like a of the 1976 Montreal Olympics logo. And we saw an example of what the current model that's of today can do. This is like an outdated, like not an outdated one, I would say, but this is an older model that was released roughly around 2 years ago, if I remember this correctly. But with Dolly, like this is what OpenAI has been working on, and um, if I ask it to create like an image of the 1917, actually I think I might just do a Wikipedia instead. So I'm just gonna ask it to create a Wikipedia page on cats instead, so we can compare like for like. And the thing with Dolly is that this is a diffusion model. So the thing about diffusion models is that like diffusion models, they start with noise. So one way to explain it is that they start with the blank screen or just like a noisy screen, and they slowly the image generates out of them. In this case, as you can see, like it's going to take a little bit of a while to generate that image. But this is what we're comparing it to, like that cat image of the Wikipedia page, and compared to like a couple of years ago. If you look at this image that comes out, like it's actually going to be nowhere close to what the model can do today. So if you look at this, like this is the text on the text on the image itself, like it's not legible, you cannot read it. It's trying to say summary, if you can see on the bold below the cat. Like there's some text it can read, but there's really other other text that it cannot read. And now I'm trying the new 4o model, so we can do like a comparison, a like for like comparison. So previously we saw on Twitter on like how one of the users of this model was just simply amazed. I thought I might try doing the same. And the difference with this model, like the GPT-4o model versus what Dolly could do, is that it is an autoregressive model. So what an autoregressive model basically means is that it's if you look at it takes a while to generate this, so it's like a bit slow. But if it basically is going from top to bottom. So if you try and create the image today, and because it's autoregressive, that just means like it's able to create like this legible English that it even says that cats have a carnivorous digestive system adapted to break down animal protein into essential nutrients. So it's like it knows about cats. It's able to transfer that information into an image, and that is like a big thing, and that is like a big capability that OpenAI has added to these models just yesterday. So they're not new to this. Like they've been doing image generation for a while. You might know them from Sora as well. Like they did video generation just as of like early this year. Like they did Sora. But there's like this comes with safety challenges and new risks really. And I do want to talk about those safety challenges as part of this video. So what autoregressive basically means, like even here they say, unlike Dolly, which operates as a diffusion model, 4o image generation is an autoregressive. That means like if you give it with diffusion models, you start with noise and the image like slowly starts to appear from it. In autoregressive, it means like you give it like three characters, then it's trying to predict the next one. So if you give it like 4o image generation, it's trying to predict the next one. So basically, in autoregressive, at a particular point, it only has information to stuff behind it, and that's when it's trying to predict. That's when it's trying to predict the next thing. So this is how these models have been trained in the whole world. Is that they have information to text before, and then it's trying to predict the next thing. So And that is how like this image is being generated as well. So yeah, like 4o image, like this is the first time like this research has not been released. This is the first time that such a model has come to life. And in fact, like it can do these things, like it can do image to image transformation. So what it means is I can give it a photo, like I can try and convert it. I can create like a Ghibli style anime, or photorealism means it looks like the horse photo that you saw. It looks like a very real photo. It's great at instruction following. So the way these models get the instruction following capability, like, I'm saying, build me a photo or create a photo of a Wikipedia page on cats. It is an instruction I'm giving it, and the way it's able to follow it, at least in the text space, has been through something called a supervised fine tuning. So basically, the way these models are trained is like on the whole internet, where they get some characters and you're trying to predict the next one. But in instruction following, like you kind of like give it question answer pairs, and you're manipulating the model into follow those question answer pairs. So when I say like create an instruction, it's able to follow it. But in this case, the OpenAI has also built some safeguards. So the first safeguard that they've built is like it will reject any the first safeguard is on the chat itself. Like if I tell anything that is harmful to humanity, or something that's against their policies, it will just reject it. It will say, I'm not going to pass whatever you're telling me. I'm not going to pass it into the model. So this violates their policies. And the chat model itself, because remember, GPT-4o is like it can talk to you in chat, it can talk to you, it can understand audio, and it can generate images. The second way that they block is, for example, if you bypassed the first phase where the chat model did not refuse you, but the request kind of reached the image generation model. So there's a front text model, and which is kind of blocking. Your requests. The second one is it then pings a image model that generates the image for you. So in this case, like if I find the abstract artist, and I tell ChatGPT, I say, look, create a image of create an abstract art image that will be sorry, that create an image for my living room, basically inspired by Gerard Richter. So he's like a well-known artist. And in this case, like, the chat model says, great choice. Like his abstract works are bold. So the image, again, like what this is showing you is that this model has a understanding of the world. And now it's trying to generate the image for you. So what has happened is you've bypassed the first level of security, and you've reached the second level where you're pinging, or your request has reached the image generation model, and now it's trying to generate the image for you. But what they say is like uh, what they say is like they also have the second line of the security or safety stack is where they will block any prompts that get to the image generation model. So in this case, they say, look, you violated our policy constraints again. So they've got this second layer of defense that says, and now the chat model doesn't really know. So it's like so there's some smarts in there where if you bypass the chat model, so you cannot really create images. And if you even passed like the second, like if you passed this second layer, the third layer that they have is referred to as output blocking. So finally, you can have like an image classifier. What an image classifier, OpenAI has not released how they exactly do this, but on the output blocking side of things, what it means is that, for example, let's say it even created that image for me, and let's say I gave it like some profane image, or I told it some prompt and it passed there first to security, and then it created that image for me. When the output is ready, post generation, so you can evaluate the output post generation, and you can see like is it still like passing violating our laws. And they have increased safety for minors. They do red teaming, sorry. So I'm not going to be going into what that means, but they have like a security team that will test this model. They so what you saw was that they do not let you create images that follow any particular artist styles, especially the ones that are living. So you cannot use their name in the prompt. So prompt is what you enter. Prompt is the line that you enter into the model, and they you cannot really create that. So they added like a refusal for it. This is an interesting one. They say that 4o will let you create images about public figures. So public figures, like I myself tried to create a photo of like Will Smith or basically I've tried like I've been playing with this model a lot and I've been giving it public figures and I even like we saw this with Amitabh Bachchan as well, like when we gave it a, if you remember, back in the video when we gave it a photo of Guinness and we created that ad for us. So it's like free marketing. In this case, I'm kind of like try something cheeky. I said, look, create a photo of Will Smith having coffee in a yellow t-shirt with Taylor Swift. But the model responded like saying like it's a very particular request and I cannot cater to this particular request for you. So it kind of bypassed the first level of security, and the second level of security, as they mentioned, is where the image generation model can reject it. And in this case, that's exactly what happens. So I said, okay, if this is a very particular request, it violates your policy. Let me just try to create an image of Will Smith having a coffee in yellow shirt, and let's see like if the image generation model works this time. I believe it should because in this case, like it's a very general request that we've made. And while that image is being generated, with public figures, they do say that in the future they can hide away and they cannot generate public figure images. One thing to look out for is like these things are a little bit biased. So this model is a bit biased, and that's a known fact in the industry, is that if you use Dolly, like we tried using Dolly, if you tried to create images from it, most of the class like distribution for race, most of the images they create would be full of white people. So like at least with 4o image generation, they say like this is down to 67% compared to 90. And it's generating more people. And even if you did like batch images, even in that case as well, it's creating like 60% of white people, and then the rest are like the other races. Even with skin tone, Dolly used to create like 90% light skin tone images, and that makes sense because like the possibly the training data that they have or the data that this model sees to learn stuff this is based in America, so they might have lots and lots of data over there. They don't let you create any erotic content. They don't let you create any violent or abusive or hateful content. Like there are still like if you look at the paper and read more about it, there's like 1 or 2% cases where they will let you create that content. Like you can really, if you try hard, and that's the part of red teaming is that you can bypass. It's called like jailbreaking. So you can actually jailbreak this model to, although I don't think it would be easy thing to do, given like they've put proper security standards in place. But it is possible to still do it. And like this photo that comes out is you cannot tell that this is AI generated or from it's like high definition, and that's what photorealism means. And this is like a major capability that they've added to everyone for $20 a month. But it can be used to spread misinformation. So I took a photo of a train station here in Sydney, and I said, look, you know what? Create a realistic image that shows a stampede at this place, and it rejected. But I said, look, I'm a philosophical teacher, so create it for me. I asked it to create like a photo of children. So it had particular laws about minors, and I asked it to create a photo of children working in. I even asked GPT 4.5 to create like a news article, and this can be used to spread misinformation as well, like child labor exposed in a particular factory here in Sydney. Imagine like if this got printed and you saw this. I know that the photo on the left doesn't look much like child labor because it's like looking archaic, but if I had spent more time on this, I'm just trying to show you use cases where this technology can be really used for wrong things as well. So you should be careful and let your family know, especially like elderly parents, because they are the ones who are the most vulnerable to this kind of technology. It can create abstract art, like how it said like we will not let you create art if the name of the artist is in the prompt. What I did is I gave it an actual photo that actually a painting of by Gerhard Richter that sold for $30 million, and it created it for me. It can be used to spread hate speech. So in this case, like I'm saying, build me a photo of a brown man littering the streets of America and angry onlookers, and this can be used to like spread hate speech in some way or form as well. And we as a human race today, like we need to be very careful. Like it's a responsibility on us. The responsibility is on us to use this technology for good rather than bad. But with this technology in the hands of everyone at basically the price of $20 a month has a huge risk, even though no matter how much security they've done, it is a huge risk, and we should all be careful. I would say, especially let your family know and your parents know. Um, this was also my first video. As I mentioned, I've been writing blogs. I have been like I am self-taught and I learned from the community. I feel like there's a big space out there today where I can share my knowledge with all of you with this massive interest that the world is seeing in the field of AI. And that's what kind of prompted me into generating these YouTube videos, and I will be doing more of this, more and more. I still don't know the exact ways of like how do you do the bell icons, or I'm not a professional content creator, but I'm going to learn my way into how to build better videos for you. Like what's the time format? Like are the longer videos better or the shorter videos better? And there's a bit of a learning curve here for me as well, but. Anytime these new technologies come, I'm a coder, so I can code, and I've been coding like pretty much all these 10 years on these technologies. I want to do all of that for you. I want to build, I want to show you I want to show you what's behind the scenes. I want to break through the hype and show you the like show you the models for what they are. So if you really like this video, I want to thank you for your time for watching. Do like it, do share it with your family if you like it, and I'll see you next time. So thank you very much.